Good morning. It's a beautiful, rainy, sunny day here in Bellingham, Washington on November 10th, 2017. As always, welcome into the Huddle. I'm Avery Schmidt, and as always, Doug Duncan. Doug, how's it going?
It's going really well. How are we doing over there?
Really well. Fantastic. Really well this week, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, not really well, actually. I got a midterm tomorrow, so it's all right.
You mean today?
Oh, yeah, I mean today.
Nice. Today, we have a special guest with us. Gonzaga baseball signee and current member of the Skyview Storm in Vancouver, Washington, Daniel Copeland is on air. Daniel, what is happening?
Not too much, to be honest with you. It's just relaxing.
So today we have Daniel on for a number of reasons, but for one, from everybody at the Huddle, congratulations on signing with Gonzaga.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And so let's get into that a little bit. When did Gonzaga begin to recruit you?
I started talking with Gonzaga my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
We just exchanged a couple of phone calls mainly, and then through the help of Coach Spellmeyer, because his wife went there in the nursing program, so he was up there a lot. So he would talk to me about what the coaches wanted to say to me, basically, and then I remember vividly it was on our picture day, sophomore year. Spelly ran over, I don't know. He was just super excited. He's like, "You need to call Gonzaga right now." I'm like, "All right, what's going on?"
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, and they're like, "We're ready to offer you." I was like, "All right, well." He's like, "I want to do it in person." I was like, "There's no way I can get up to campus." And he's like, "I want you up here this weekend." I was like, "Well, give me some time." So it took about another, maybe, I don't know, like 2 months before I was even able to get up there. But
Shoot.
It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's one hell of a day. So who else recruited you other than Gonzaga?
I talked to WSU, UW, OSU, Seattle U, and then a couple schools like U of O showed a little interest, Stanford, just a couple of schools here, and then some Ivy Leagues.
Because you're so smart.
Decent.
That's it.
So why Gonzaga?
I mean, to be honest, as soon as I just stepped on campus, I knew it was the place that I wanted to be. It didn't really take long for that to set in. Then I got to sit down with the coaches, talk to them, and overall, I couldn't compare how I felt there to any place else that I had visited. So it just felt like the right place to be.
Right.
Nice.
That's a feeling that not a lot of kids get to experience, and the fact that you got that, I mean, speaks volumes to Gonzaga. That is.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So were they
definitely.
the first school to really contact you?
No. I talked to UW. That was the first school that I talked to. I talked to them my freshman year.
Donegal.
Yeah, Donegal.
Did you? Yeah, he's on it early, man.
Yeah, he's the one that recruited me.
Yeah, he's on it real early. So it's our understanding that not only did you just sign, but you're also a prospect in this year's draft as well. And you told me that you went down to Arizona a few weeks ago now, was it?
It was about a month ago almost. October 12th, I think I left. Yeah, October 12th I left.
So walk us through that. What'd you do down there? How'd you do? What other kids were there? What coaches, teams were there? Just give us a quick run through.
Okay, so I went and played in the Arizona Fall Classic. It was ridiculous. It was like 70-something teams of just all over the country, and they all go down and play on like the Major League Spring Training fields, and I went and played with the Diamondback scout team.
Nice.
Coached by Donnie Reynolds, who's the area scout around here for the Diamondbacks, and it's basically him and a few of the other area scouts for like Oregon, Washington, stuff like that. And then so it was a team made up of guys from, we had Oregon guys, Washington guys, a couple Idaho, and I think one Canadian. But yeah, it was a good team, just absolutely stacked with talent from like Kobe Blunt, Cody Darcy, Damon from right around here.
Yeah, just dudes after dudes after dudes.
It was just a great team. Then we got to play just great competition, and they're just pitching. I got to pitch in front of probably 40 scouts, MLB scouts. So
that's awesome.
So
it was pretty cool.
So you said you were playing on the Diamondbacks team. Were they the only team that has talked to you, or has it been other teams too?
I've gotten a little bit of interest from other teams. I've talked to guys with the Marlins a little bit, and then I filled out just like questionnaire stuff for the Nationals. But most of the contact I've had with professional scouts so far has mainly been in person. Not too much come my way yet, but
most of that happened when you were down in Arizona?
Yeah, a lot of it in Arizona, and then last winter it was at New Athlete for some showcase, just I'm not even sure what it was, but I got invited to come and not really partake in anything, but just to go talk to scouts. Nice. So that was cool.
Very cool.
That's sweet. So, in your eyes, if you're a scout, where would you draft yourself?
If I draft myself, at the moment, I wouldn't take myself too high. I think there are a lot better pitchers than me out there. I think that scouts look a lot at velocity, and I've touched 91, but I don't sit in the 90s like they want. But I think just with my secondary pitches, and I feel like I can locate all of my pitches for strikes when I want to.
Absolutely.
I think that gives me an edge over some of the guys that are 90 and wild. But I definitely think that there's a lot of room for improvement still to be made, and I'm hoping to hammer all that home and have a good spring.
Good.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. I played shortstop behind you for 2 years. I saw you throw 75% of pitches for strikes, your sophomore year, which is just absurd for a sophomore to do. You could barely even drive, and you're throwing 75%, pitches for strikes, and then Gonzaga calls on picture day and all that. But that's terrific. So we'll shift gears just a little bit. If there's one thing about Major League Baseball, Daniel, that you could potentially shift or change, whether it's the draft, the off-season trading, gameplay, what comes to mind for you?
I definitely say the replay policy, because replays really aren't supposed to be a part of baseball.
Yeah,
it's just bang bang plays, and the umpire makes a judgment call, and if it goes in your favor, you're gonna like it, and if it doesn't, you're not. That's just how baseball is, and it's always been that way. And I don't think with the momentum of the game, you don't need to be slowing it down to review a call for.
Probably don't need to slow it down more than it's already slow.
Yeah.
Games are already 4 hours.
No one really. You have to have a special place in your heart for baseball to go sit and watch a game for that long, and you'll hear that from a lot of people. But I just don't think that it really makes it worth it.
That is our horn. Daniel, thanks for joining us today.
I really appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And you know what? We should just make this a weekly thing. But we could talk about this stuff. We could talk about baseball, talk about, Gonzaga and all that for a lot longer, but we're keeping it quick and short for our loyal audience. So, Daniel, thanks for coming on, and
yeah, Daniel, have fun next week when you're up there.
Oh, thank you very much.
We'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk
to you soon, buddy.
All right, talk to you soon.
See you later. So, Doug, just you and I now, back to normal. We're gonna shift gears. Actually, you know what? Let me ask you if there's anything you think that can be changed in the MLB. If anything comes to mind.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if the draft can change it all, because the way the MLB is set up is so different than any other professional sports.
Yeah.
So, there's 45? How many rounds are there in the draft?
50, a lot.
Yeah,
50.
there's 45 or 50 rounds, and then the minor leagues leading up to the majors. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's a totally different ballgame, so it's hard.
You
can't
need
really
50 rounds.
You need 50 rounds for all the teams that each
Yeah.
professional team has underneath it. So that's kind of hard. If you were changing one of those things, it would be like reworking the whole system.
Yeah, right.
I think Daniel had a pretty good thought about the replay system.
Yeah.
And how
it's brutal sometimes.
Yes, it makes the right call. So I kind of like that, but the reason why I don't mind it in basketball is because it's so fast paced that it slows it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But with baseball, it makes it longer, and it doesn't need to make it longer.
No.
Honestly, they should probably do something to make the game go by quicker. I know people say that all the time.
And they've already tried to do that,
And they've already tried to do that, but
there's
just
so
nature.
much.
It is, but there's so much time in between each pitch.
Yeah.
There's so much time that just it just adds up. When in the moment, it's there's it's not that much time, but overall in a whole game, it's oh my word, it's
Well, you have 30 seconds in between every pitch. That's a rule in the MLB. They have timer. You have 2 minutes in between innings. They have timers in every MLB stadium now.
Right.
It definitely does speed it up, but it's it's still a little tedious and slow at times. But good, awesome. So let's shift gears.
Okay.
I'm pumped about this. I'm bummed that we only have 8 to 10 minutes to talk about this. But we're going to be comparing probably my two favorite Blazers of all time.
Yeah, it has to be for our age.
The guy that got us out of the Jailblazers era, Brandon Roy, and the guy that will hopefully lead us to another NBA title, Damian Lillard. Hopefully. We're going to compare these two guys right here, right now. Let's do it. Doug, in your opinion, who passes the eye test? And for those that don't know, the eye test is, you look and you say that's the better player. So who's when you look on the court, who's better, Dame or BRoy?
Talent level, BRoy. And I think where Brandon Roy was going was going to be better.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a person to be the franchise player, I'd pick Dame.
Absolutely. Because I couldn't agree more.
I think he's a leader that every franchise needs and wants.
It's what when guys like Paul Allen and Neil O'Shea wake up in the morning, that they're like, thank God I have Damian Lillard.
There's no morale problems within the Blazers organization.
No,
player wise.
You've never. I mean, ever since LA left, there hasn't been. You're completely right, and
right.
Even back then there wasn't really either.
Right. So, to answer your question, I mean, I think BRoy. You remember when Kobe Bryant said in an interview,
the highest praise you could ever have.
Someone asked Kobe Bryant, who is the hardest person to guard in the NBA? And at that point, he had, he was playing LeBron, he was playing Kevin Durant,
Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, I think.
Sorry.
I think it was current NBA, but
yes, my bad.
I mean, who else was then?
I mean, you had Tracy McGrady.
You had Paul Pierce.
You had Paul Pierce. You had that was
Kevin Garnett.
08, 09.
Yeah. So
Ray Allen.
Right. So you had a lot of good talent, but somebody asked him who the hardest person to guard was in the NBA at that particular time, and he said Brandon Roy.
Crazy, right?
And everyone was like, "Whoa, that's nuts."
His stupid knees, man.
Right. So
What?
yeah, I
could've
think
been.
he had a. I think it was, and that's who developed us to be Blazer fans.
Oh, if there's no Brandon Roy, I'm probably honestly I'm probably an Oklahoma City Thunder fan right now because I would have probably caught on to the Sonics, you know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Which I couldn't do.
No.
So side by side. Here, this is crazy.
Give me some
crazy.
stats.
So, Dame and BRoy have both spent 5 full years in Portland, and after Brandon's 5th full year, he retired, and then ended up coming back for like half a season with the T-Wolves. Dame is 5 full seasons through, plus some change this year, about 11 or 12 games they played.
Yeah.
So in 5 full seasons played, Brandon Roy is 225 and 185 with when he was on the roster. Dame
When
Brandon Roy was on the roster,
225 and 185.
Yes, when
Okay.
Dame is on the roster, 223 wins and 187 losses.
So almost identical.
And their rookie year struggled. Brandon was 32 and 50. Dame was 33 and 49.
Mm-hmm.
Second year, BRoy was 500, 41-41. Dame 54-28. And then it kind of switches after that. Dame's record kind of diminishes, but then Brandon's kind of stays about the same 54-50-48. Dame 51-44-41.
Right.
But just crazy identical. I mean, within 2 games for 5 full years for our
5
stars.
whole different years. I mean,
Yeah. It's 06, Brandon's rookie year was 06, 07. Dame's was 2000.
Hey, it makes sense because we're usually always the 5,
yeah,
the 4,
it
5,
sucks.
6 seed. Yeah, yep.
And so get this as well. Brandon Roy, 3-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA Rookie of the Year. Dame, 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA Rookie of the Year. Brandon Roy just has one more All-Star appearance than Dame.
That's crazy.
And
that's because the West didn't have as much talent.
Yeah,
back then.
absolutely. Dame didn't make the
Roy,
All-Star team, averaging 27 a game.
And he probably won't this year again.
Probably not. Don't that can be a whole separate topic, so we're gonna pause there. But here are their stats side by side through 5 years in the NBA.
Okay.
Brandon Roy, 18.8 points. Dame, 22.5. Brandon, 4.3 rebounds. Dame, 4.1. Brandon, 4.7 assists. Dame, 6.2. Brandon Roy, 46% from the field. Dame, 43. Brandon Roy, 35% from 3. Dame, 37.
So
I
similar.
mean, you're within 4 points. You're within 0.2 rebounds. You're within 1.5 assists. You're within 3% field goal percentage, 2% 3-point percentage, and 8% free throw percentage. I mean,
it doesn't get much closer than that.
It's astounding. I'm sitting here with my palms to the sky. Like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think Dame passes the eye test for me more than Brandon does.
Okay.
I just think Brandon. How do I put? I think Brandon did more for his team.
Okay.
Like it's like
On the court?
On the court, yeah.
Okay.
Off the court, it's Dame, no question.
Yeah.
Brandon Roy kept a low profile. Dame is, I want to be our superstar.
Right.
I want to come out with an album, you know? But Dame passes it for me, Dame passes it for me because I think his offensive ability is, I don't want to say leaps and bounds, but I think it's definitely better than Brandon's. Okay. And I think Dame's is more impressive too because he is 3 or 4 inches shorter than Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, I think Dame is the better Blazer. If you asked me to, last year, the year before, I probably said Brandon Roy. But now it's Damian Lillard. Doug says it's Brandon Roy. Up for debate. Great debate for Blazer fans. And that's our show.
Hey, let's hear it in the comments. What do you think, BRoy or Dame?
That's our show. Dame Dolla, BRoy, one of the great debates. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And Rip City, baby.